Aloha, Professor Teo. This is my findings about the last two versions of ATC, DME, and troubleshooting one. So I'm gonna start talking about the ATC. First of all, I just shown examples of faults I would like to inspect, and then the probable and possible reasons are the, that cause of the fault that I may expect that I may expect, and, and I will see, and it could be for certainly reasons. So first of all, the if the numeral real shows all zeros instead of the squam code, the transponder may not be receiving power properly, or there could be an issue with the control head sending this one code. So there is the true the two reasons I found that it could be in the situation of the all zeros in the mode 8. Then in the numeral readout, but this is in the mode C with the altitude. It could be an encoder or a malfunction of the connection between the transponder and the aircraft altimeter system. But there is a point of the encoder more because it could be a false reading in the gray code. We know that the gray code is mean as a special type of coding. So there is a plentiful if there is a plentiful in core, we could not only have a bad attitude. So every time we use the ATC, it's gonna be a bad altitude in mode C. And then the frequency power meter shows low or no power output. So we know that the frequency is shown with a meter on the tester. So it could be that the transponder transmitter that is in the ATC of the aircraft, in this case of the module, may be malfunctional, or there could be a losing condition between the test set and the aircraft. That's because the lock-on between the ATC, between the aircraft and the ground in the ATC, it's could, but for any reasons more deeper. And finally, in the DME, the XPDR percent RPLI DME PRF mirror display a significant lower or higher PRF than expected. So, and the problem could be the DME transmitter, because there is a pulse generation that we need of the signal to go ground, then have a pause of 50 microseconds, and then go return. And if there is a significantly different between the spec and the real PRF, it could be the reason of the transmitter on aircraft, a failure in the transmitter or the pulse generation in the circuit. Then I'm gonna explain more about the troubleshooting. So I talk more about the possible fails, because we have as example of smoke energy and then with essential bars only, or if we lose generation of the engines. But the possible reasons I put with the others components of in a failing mode, like the APU generator, for example the batteries, or the transformer rectifiers, no, we don't talk more in the in the workshop about that, but I made uh, my possible reasons. I think they could be fail if they fail. So for example, in the APU generator, if they fail, if the generation of the APU, if the electrical generation of the APU fails, it could be the low battery voltage during APU start, because if the APU doesn't start, don't generate energy. Of the APU starting more, or fuel supply issue, a GCU malfunction, because the GCU permits the function of the generators in the engines and the APU too. A damaged APU turbine or control system. It could be an FOD, or a bird could damage the blades of the APU and make the malfunctionality of the APU too. For example, we're gonna pass with the rectifiers or the AC buses. If the AC bus is failing, the generation failure affect. It could be the generation failure that affects all the buses. For example, in the DC buses, is the TR, the transform rectifier, because it could be an overheating or overload in these sections, and the energy in AC through through the transformer rectifier for the DC buses doesn't have to transform, because there is a logic term. Uh, there is a logic term um, below that makes a protection for overheating or overload. Finally, the transformer rectifier, if they fail, the possible reasons are the overheating and high current demand, or an unexpected high current demand in the DC buses, um, and a diode or an internal wiring damage, or a faulty tier contact logic, because if there is no contact logic that protects the tier or the GCU, or in any part of the electrical system that needs to be the needs um, a processing of looking for a correct functional of the electrical system, it could fail, because we don't know what happened really in that part of the system. So for now, that is all, because I don't have that time, but I present all the boxes that I put my possible reasons of each malfunctional and failing, but then put that too in my report. So thanks for all, and